We were Coach Frye at Hayward Field. The 2021 Outdoor Championships is upon us, Coach Frye. How is it to feel like, we're here?
Yeah, the vibe, the feel. Realized my first national champion started here. Otis McIntyre, Calvin Austin, and Otis Melvin, Carter Suggs, with Wild Bill at East Carolina, 1978, stand at the Oregon Inn. And realizing I thought it was super then. The track was awesome. Mac jumped 53 feet, still the school record at East Carolina. 2 guys make the final in the 200 meters. And we leave here and fly back across the country and fly back to UCLA. It was the beginning, and it was an awesome beginning. And I never ceases to amaze me when I watch kids walk into Oregon Field. Our kids have never been here to the old Oregon Field, and so the feel, the thrill they got, it's amazing as I look at it that every country in the world has a stadium like this for track and field. Some of the time it has soccer included inside of it, but this is exclusively track and field, and I just feel rejuvenated. That the sport has moved this far in one part of the country or at one institution. So I'm proud of the fact. I'm not a hater. I'm in the line of blessings. I've been blessed so much, and being blessed a lot has given me the opportunity to bless others. I have our kids that come from South Carolina to see the prosperity and understand that in their sport you can have affluency and influence. So those are the feelings I get. I love the track fan to be able to come out and watch it. I hope the energy is here so our kids can do the performance I expect them to do. I don't think we got to get out early here to get them calmed down such that they don't feel overcome with expectations and environment. So we got to make this a little common for them such that it doesn't get overcome them a lot. A lot of people are going to just the presence. This is not small town. This is filling a stadium in a bowl game. This is the Super Bowl of track and field for a collegiate 18 to 22-year-old. So how you adapt to this and how you can make this somewhat normal is going to play a big part into who wins, who scores, who's an All-American. So we're going to do a few things to try to have our kids have a little fun, to make sure that they don't get caught up in the awesomeness of competing, even though you want them to be excited, but you don't want it to be overtaken.
We have some veterans, and like you talked about, we also have some younger folks. From the standpoint of the thought process and the mental side of it, what's the difference between maybe some of our veterans and some of our freshmen that are going to be the difference in how they perform this week?
I think Leah Abram is a great leader. Leah Abrams has come here before when she had a bone spur in her foot and led us to where we were leading in the mile relay to the anchor leg in this stadium. And so, this is her 6th year. And so I think her maturity is going to be able to keep us calm. I'm going to go to her a lot because we're going to try to do some different things. And if Will this morning is overrunning the first 2 hurdles, his excitement just to come out of the blocks over the hurdle, we had to calm him down. So Leo will help us a great deal. Eric has been in the championship meet before, and I think he likes and needs the energy. So those kids right there, I think with their examples and their conversations, and while we're traveling today to get our kids away from the track to have an experience that they can visit with the kids, and we can throw some of that energy off into some other things, seeing the Pacific Ocean and stuff like that. So our staff and administration helps us plan how to have an environment for a championship.
And from the standpoint, obviously, there's rounds that are included here in the championships. From the standpoint of, obviously, you've already gone through the preliminary rounds in Jacksonville, but from the standpoint of going through the rounds here, what's the difference, and how do you kind of tell those kids that this is what you got to do to just, survive and advance?
A lot of our kids advance well at the national because top 2 finishes put you in a good position on the track. It's like Will's in lane 6 because he won his heat. The number 1 seeds, the number 1s from each one of the meets, get a chance to be in the middle. That's the one thing. Advancing top 2 in each heat gets to the finals, and then they take 3 fast times. So they all are in good positions. Each one of our girls are in a good position. Lane, I think we got one lane one draw out of all of it, but we earned that because getting to the nationals was important. We'd rather be number 12 into the meet than number 13. We had 3 13s in the region. I'd love to have them here for this experience. But our relays in good position and a great heat. Hey, if we finish in the top 2 in that heat, or top 4 in that heat, I think it's the fastest heat that's in the meet. They get a chance to make it to the finals and be All-American. So our kids will be prepared because we will prepare them to understand who it is and that they've got to beat to advance. And so, we've got experience. And we're now getting the kind of athlete. I look forward to being back to Eugene a number of years with the young kids that we've got that are here into the meet. This is their first experience, but golly, the classes of our recruits we just signed with the ones that we got here, this is a regular for Carolina. I think Carolina's back on the stage to make that chase, and I'm glad that we're here. We're the first team into the stadium this morning. But that's the thing that we try to do. We try to be first. We try to be the first to win a national championship at Carolina. First is what we are. It can never be another first. That was my goal this morning. We got up when we planned our trip out here. Be the first to test our kids, to go over and get them cleared. Be the first to load the bus. Be the first. First, you can never be higher than first. And so we aspire to do things that are first.
Of course. And then the last thing I have is just about we talk about the veterans, we talked about the young kids, but we have a couple of kids that are maybe veterans in the classroom and in regards to how old they are, maybe with Stephanie Davis, Malik, and even Dee, but it might be their first time doing individual events at the national championship. So what's the difference from their mindset? How do you guys help plan for them?
Those things you have to. Stephanie is not a first.
Right.
Stephanie has been to a national championship every year she's been at Carolina. She just hadn't been an individual. And so the preparation for that is the maturity of expectations. That was the big thing about winning her heat in the regional meet. Instead of just getting through the meet, being on, she has a just mentality early as a freshman and sophomore. I think she's grown a little bit from a just mentality to I'm that good. And that's what we have to get to her. You didn't get out of a region as tough as ours that puts you in a seed as the fastest seed in your, the number 1 seed in your event at the national championship and not belong in the finals. Aaliyah got tough heat, but Aaliyah has been top 5 at the NCAA championship. Dee, never been to a championship before. This is the first one for her. We gotta keep her focused on, hey, don't be a first. First is knowing you're trying to be the first person first that gets to the finals. And those are things you have to get people, because sometimes people can get caught in, this is good for me. And we've had that a lot. It's good for me. It's good for us to make a bowl. It's good for me. It's good for us to come this. No, it's why not. It's never good enough unless you win it all. And that's kind of, I don't mind a little bit of disappointment. I don't like status quo. Our kids are better than status quo. Carolina is better than status quo. But you've got to have that kind of personal expectations from yourself. And it's 25 years of that kind of mentality. I see it in many of our sports and our environment is you do things first class, you travel first class, you stay first class, you provide your kids a first class experience, not minimums. Minimum bring minimum expectations. My mama always told me, you can't be with so poor, and nobody don't need to know you poor. If it's to be, it's up to me. Who can? I can. What's to do? Let's do it.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Hey, let's go Gamecocks.